Hey, first grade, let's read our harmony lesson for the week. Before we get started, I'm going to read you some things that I want you to think about as you listen to the story. Have your feelings ever been hurt by something that someone else did? What would have made the situation better for you? Have you ever done something that was hurtful to a friend? What did you do to fix your friendship? Sometimes friends don't get along or do things that are hurtful to one another. When that happens, it is important to stay calm and talk about what happened so you can figure out how to make things better for both of you. In this story, one child made a mistake that is hurtful to her friend, and they have to figure out a way to forgive and fix their friendship. As you listen to the story, think about what each of the characters might be thinking and feeling, and what might make the situation better for each of them. This is the lima bean plant. So listen as I read. It was a Monday afternoon, and the sun was shining as Kenny walked out of Harmony Street School. He was carefully carrying a small pot that sprouted leafy green stems and thin, spiraling tendrils. "What's that?" asked his friend Kayla as she joined him. "It's a lima bean plant," he explained. "My class planted beans, and now the weather is finally warm enough for us to take them home to plant outside. I'm going to give it to my dad for his birthday this week, and I'll bet he'll put it right in his vegetable garden." "That's neat," said Kayla. "Do you think that you'll help your dad plant it?" Kenny nodded. "Sure, I've been helping him in the garden ever since I was a little kid. We don't have any lima bean plants this year, so my dad is really going to like this." What a cool gift, something they can do together. Kenny and Kayla walked to the treehouse in the park where they played every day after school. When they got there, Kenny carefully set his plant near a sunny window and then got a bottle of water from his backpack and drizzled some onto the soil. "My dad says that when plants are young, you really have to be sure to keep the soil damp so the roots don't dry out," he explained. "Well, your dad would know," said Kayla. "He grows some of the biggest vegetables I've ever seen." For the rest of the afternoon, the kids played games and helped each other practice their spelling words. When it was time to go home, Kenny looked at his plant and said, "I really wish I could leave it here for a few days and then surprise my dad on his birthday. But my grandma is coming to visit tomorrow, so I can't play after school until the end of the week." "Well, I can take care of it for you," offered Kayla. "You can leave it on the table and I'll check on it every afternoon when I'm here." "Okay, thanks," said Kenny. "Just make sure to keep it nice and damp." On Wednesday, Kayla played with a friend that was at the treehouse until it was time to go. She didn't remember to check on Kenny's plant, so she didn't notice that the edges of its leaves were starting to get brown. On Thursday, it was so hot that Kayla decided to go to a friend's house to swim instead of going to the treehouse. She never saw that Kenny's plant was getting more and more dry and crinkly. Uh-oh. I don't think it's supposed to be dry and crinkly. On Wednesday, Kayla played with a friend that was at the treehouse until it was time to go. Oops. I was trying to read the same page to you guys. When they arrived at the treehouse, the kids climbed up the ladder and Kenny went over to the table to get his plant. "Oh no!" he exclaimed. The lima bean plant was right where Kenny had left it, but it was no longer green and shiny. It was hard and brown and withered. Kenny turned to Kayla with his arms crossed. "I thought you were going to take care of it for me." Uh-oh. Kayla felt badly that the plant was dead, but she really didn't mean to forget about it. "It's not my fault. You never reminded me," she answered. "Kayla, you said that you would water it for me every day," Kenny said with a frown. "We're having a birthday dinner tonight, and now I don't have anything to give to my dad." Kayla looked down and bit her lip. She didn't want Kenny to be mad at her, and she really didn't mean to let his plant die. But Kenny was right. It was her responsibility to take care of the plant. "It was my job, and I forgot," Kayla admitted. I wish this didn't happen, Kenny, and I wish you weren't sad now. Kenny didn't say anything for a minute. He was really upset, but he knew that Kayla hadn't let his plant die on purpose. She probably feels awful too, he thought. Are you really mad at me? Kayla asked. Well, I guess I was mad at you at first, but I know it was an accident, answered Kenny. I forgive you, so I'm not mad anymore, but I'm still upset that I don't have a present for my dad now. I know, said Kayla, sitting down next to him. I really want to make things better. There isn't anything you can do, said Kenny sadly. You can't make a dead plant start to grow again. Kayla and Kenny sat and looked at the withered plant. Kayla thought about how much fun it was to visit the garden at Kenny's house every year and to finally see green shoots come up through the soil as the vegetables started to grow. She knew how much he loved to help his dad in the garden, and she thought about how he must be feeling right now. What could I do to fix things? She wondered. Suddenly, Kayla snapped her fingers. I have an idea, she exclaimed. We can't make this plant grow, but we can sure make a new one grow. She hurried to the top of the treehouse ladder and began climbing down. Come on, Kenny, she called, and bring your plant. As the two friends ran across the park towards Kayla's house, she explained, My family eats lima beans a lot. I'll bet we have some dried beans in our kitchen. Kayla got some lima beans from her mom and gave them to Kenny along with a colorful plastic cup. This is my favorite cup, she explained. I want to give it to you for your new plant. Kayla helped Kenny take the dead plant out of the pot, pour the soil into the new cup, and plant the beans in the soil. Then they watered it carefully so the soil was nice and damp. This was a great idea, said Kenny. I won't be able to help my dad plant it in the garden for a while, but now we can wait for it to sprout together. It was almost time for their birthday dinner, so Kayla walked Kenny home. I wish I hadn't ruined your first plant, she said. Next time I will really try to do what I'll say I'll do. It's okay, said Kenny. Everybody makes mistakes, and I feel a lot better now. I'm glad we're still friends. And Kayla was too. So, it's really important to remember we all make mistakes. But when we make a mistake, it's important that we apologize and own up for what we did. But we can always learn from our mistakes. That's how we grow. So I'll see you guys next week. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Can't wait to see y'all.